While thorough polling and campaign fundraising offer really good insights into the 2024 race, it is face-to-face meetings with voters that really shed light on the human side of it all. Hearing how voters feel and why they support a given candidate are key resources for political experts and campaigns trying to navigate a very crowded primary field. Here to share his insight is Republican pollster Frank Luntz, who recently traveled to Iowa, and he spoke with conservative voters there. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing what you learned. What's the big picture takeaway? What is your assessment of the fields? I guess let's just start with Iowa because that's where you were.
Well, it's different in Iowa and New Hampshire because the voters are different. In Iowa, it's much more faith-based, more morals, values. New Hampshire is much more economically based. It's a financial conservative electorate. And in Iowa, which we're going to hear from, the voters like Donald Trump, and they think he's a victim. They think that he's being persecuted, is the word I would use. That said, there's a whole lot of them that are looking for somebody else right now because they don't want to relitigate what has happened over the last 7 years. They don't believe in these indictments, but they don't want that to be a sideshow. They want to move ahead rather than looking backward.
Let's look specifically about the former president and the support before we get to the focus group that you did. The support that he has nationally has grown since February. 12 points since February. And DeSantis, who was just right behind him at a time, is now even further behind him. Who are these people who aren't part, maybe necessarily, of like that Trump core, what we call the Fifth Avenue Republicans, who, you know, he famously says, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and those people will support me. But the people on top of that who are looking at everything that's going on, that happened on January 6th, and they're saying, okay, I'll throw my support behind Donald Trump.
The less educated you are, the more likely you are to support Donald Trump. Lower income, people who've been unemployed at some point in the last 5 years. It's a socioeconomic level that was once a Democratic voter, which is quite interesting. The people who've come over to the GOP that gave them the majority in 2016, a lot of them, maybe 15%, have been voting Democrat in the past, and they were simply frustrated, fed up. They feel ignored, forgotten, even betrayed. And there's a level of anger there that brought them to Donald Trump because he represented and offered to be their voice and to speak for them. And what has happened is that group has actually grown over time. And DeSantis, from the opening of his campaign, has simply not appealed to them. Here's someone with a very strong record in Florida. The voters have looked at this and said, why are you weaponizing government against companies you don't agree with? Why are you taking such an extreme position on abortion when you're selling yourself as a common sense conservative? So there are issues that are driving voters away from DeSantis at the very moment that so many of these Iowa voters are looking for a change.
I just want to quickly ask you about something that you said at the beginning. I remember seeing you in Iowa in 2015, the 2016 election cycle, and we were watching Donald Trump. And one of the questions then was whether or not this evangelical Republican voting base would support somebody like Donald Trump. The answer was almost. He almost won, but he didn't. Now you're saying that he does have support in Iowa. There are lots of alternatives who are traditionally, fundamentally evangelical kind of candidates. There's Mike Pence, there's Tim Scott, and yet they're trailing so far behind Donald Trump there.
And the reason why they're trailing is because the evangelical community, which is who I talked to in this focus group, held by the family leader, that evangelical community feels attacked. They feel like they themselves are not being treated fairly. And so they see Trump act this way, and they think that he speaks for them.
Let's listen to one. This is a man by the name of Dan, who is a Republican voter in Iowa you spoke to.
What would you tell President Trump?
Say thanks for continue to take the hit and continuing to fight, because he doesn't have to. He can leave, and so thank you for sticking in and helping us get through.
It's amazing that they appreciate his tough talk. I would not have thought this when you and I talked in 2015. I now feel this in 2023. They want someone who's going to stand up and say, Joe Biden is wrong, Joe Biden is corrupt, They want a fighter, not a conciliator.
Then there's the question of electability. That's what they want in the short term. The question is who can beat Joe Biden. I want to listen to a woman that you spoke with as part of the focus group that you did in Iowa.
Obviously, is a very solid base, but that base is not enough to get him elected. Your base is never enough. You have to get other people. And I don't think Trump can get, everybody is already on the Trump train or never getting on the Trump train again. And the base is very solid, but it's not enough to beat Biden.
And that's what I heard again and again. They're so afraid of giving Joe Biden 4 more years. For some of them, it's because of his age. For others, it's because of his policies. They desperately want a Republican. And by the way, they don't necessarily identify themselves as Republicans. Mm-hmm. They're closely identified with conservative, and their religious values are more important quite often than their political
And how much
values.
did this notion come up, the electability, the question of whether Donald Trump is electable in a general election as part of a decision maker for these Republican voters?
It's a deciding factor for a lot of them, but in the end, they desperately want to go back. They want to have the benefits of the last 4 years in their perception. They want to have those benefits, but they don't want to be focused on the past. They want to be focused on the future. They want someone to fight for them. They want someone who believes in them, and they believe that Trump did perform. But their doubt is, can he do it again?
Thank you so much. Fascinating.
It's great to be here.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Frank Luntz.